We're back with another video. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about how you can make 50 grand this upcoming AEP. And this is a lot more doable than you might have originally expected, especially for some of you newbies. This might be your first time around. My first AEP, I made about $20,000 at the age of 21. That being said, the opportunity is so much bigger today. The commissions are higher, the cross-selling is more lucrative, and there's so many ways that we can actually get here. So let's actually just kind of dive into this and kind of talk about it. But before we do that, you guys, I got to talk to you guys about my favorite telemarketing lead company. Of course, I'm talking to you about Lead Heroes, you guys. Lead Heroes has got you covered when it comes to telemarketing leads, whether it be Medicare supplement leads, final expense leads, turning 65 leads. They just got something for everybody. They might even help you get to that 50 G's this AEP if you try them out. Just because you watch this video today, guys, they're going to give you 10% off any order you make on their website. The link can be found down in the description of this video, so go ahead and check them out along with the coupon code. All right, guys, 50 grand, 50 G's during the AE and the P. Let's talk about this, and let's kind of crunch some numbers on kind of what this would have to look like, okay? So let's say, for the sake of example, that we know that our new to Medicare Advantage commission for 2022 is $573. We know this, but the renewal is going to be about, just so we have a round number, $286, right? $286 for the renewal. Let's just say, for the sake of example, that you're writing only Medicare Advantage. Now, I obviously recommend selling Medicare Supplement and Medicare Advantage, but let's just keep this simple a little bit, guys. I don't want to get this too complicated for a lot of you guys. I don't want to lose you. So we're looking at 50 grand, and let's just say you don't write any new to Medicare Advantage people. Of course you will, but I'd rather be conservative about this number. That would mean you'd have to write 174.825 applications. So let's round that up to 175. Sounds like a lot of policies, right? For a lot of you. Some of you are going to be like, I'm never going to be able to do that. Well, let's kind of dissect this a little bit. What if you could write 100 apps and get there, this AEP? Well, let's dissect how that's actually possible. Because 100 sounds a lot more reachable than 180, right? 175 or 200, or the case might be. I know some of you will write 50 this AEP and you won't feel like you did anything. Just keep this in mind. If you're a brand new agent and you haven't had a lot of training, 50 apps your first AEP is a very good accomplishment. So I'm not trying to make you guys feel small or anything like that. There's very few agents that really write 100 apps or more during AEP, despite what anybody says. Look at the numbers. Look at the carrier numbers. It's a fact. There's just not a whole lot of agents that actually do it. Doesn't mean there's not agents out there that do it, however. So imagine a world where instead of having to write 175 apps, because really 175 apps, AEP is really about 7.5 weeks, but let's just say 7 weeks just for the sake of example. Like I said, conservative. That means you have to write 25 apps a week every single week. And let's say you're working 6 days a week. That would mean you'd have to write about 4.16 a day. Let's say you take Sunday off. That's tough for a lot of you. And so this is the way that I would approach this, guys. There's a lot of things you can do to lower your new clientele count, but you're making more money per client, right? And you're not doing anything to harm them or anything like that. You're actually, helping cover them a little bit better. Make sure that you're cross-selling this AEP. With Medicare Advantage, your best friend in terms of your cross-sell, in my opinion, is going to be 1, a hospital indemnity plan, and number 2, a cancer plan. If you are actively and really going about your business and selling those plans, right? Let's say you can write 20, 30, 40 of those plans during AEP. Well, that's going to make it to where maybe you don't need as many apps. Let's say you can write another 15, 20, maybe 30 cancer plans, right? You're cross-selling. You're bringing these things up. You're saying, do you want fries with that, essentially, right? There's better ways and more articulate ways to actually do that. But, really what I found is, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect with hospital indemnity. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, I have a little policy that can essentially cover some of the larger out-of-pocket expenses with this plan that we're looking at today. We're going to come back to that a little bit later at the end, but that's something we can essentially add on to this that can beef up your coverage, right? I feel like even if you do something simple like that, even if you're not necessarily confident about it, bringing it up to every single person you do a presentation for, you're going to end up just tripping into something. You might do 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10 or maybe even 4 out of 10. And then as you get better, you're doing half of them, 6 out of 10, those kind of things. That can dramatically increase your revenue per client when you're working with them. And you're covering them better by doing that, right? The other thing that you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of is make sure you're doing the health assessments as much as you possibly can. The health assessments are going to essentially pay you a little bit extra per policy, so that way your revenue is a little bit higher per policy. So as we start to really dissect this, when you're effectively cross-selling, you're doing the health assessments, you might get to a point where to make your $50,000 desired income for AEP, you might only need 100 apps. You might only need 100 new clients, I should say. Not 100 apps, but 100 new clients, I should say, in order to kind of achieve that goal. And some of the people you're going to be working with are going to be turning 65 people. They're going to be people that maybe were on Medicare supplements that never been on Medicare Advantage. You're switching them over. That's treated as a new to Medicare Advantage sale. You get the $573 at that point. So really, when you kind of pick apart these numbers a bit, it becomes much more realistic and achievable and attainable. Just make sure, guys, that you're working smarter, not harder, and using what you have available to you. And you might find you might not need to obtain as many new clients as you originally thought. Anyway, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, drop a like so more agents like you can find it easier. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I would really, really appreciate it. Please hit that like button. Drop a comment down in the comment section what you thought of this video. Do you like it? Do you dislike? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'd love to have an open dialogue. Reasonable minds can differ. And make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified when we upload our 3 to 4 videos a week. And appreciate you guys watching. We'll be back next time. Here's to your success and your abundance. Thanks, guys.